This video is about changing the turbo on a Focus 1800 Zetec TDCi. Unlike videos on YouTube of the 1600, which is at the front and easy to work on and to film, this one is the back of the engine, and I could not find any information on YouTube for changing this turbo. Also, engine manual was different in many ways. So first thing is to diagnose what went wrong with yours. When you take it off, see if the nut is missing off the end of the shaft, or the blades are shattered and gone into the engine. Also, the engine breather must be clear. There are other things to check, but I only want to show you how to change the turbo. If, like mine, it's only the oil seals, you should be okay. The video may not be in order, so please watch it all and subscribe. It's not easy to film under the engine and the back, but I do hope this helps you. Thank you. So I'll just lift the bonnet. If you haven't seen my other video on how to, if you're having trouble with this lock, I've devised this method on my other video on how to change the lock. And all you do is turn it to the left to open it, turn to the right like you would with your key, and the bonnet will open like that. Right, this is the engine. I will repeat myself a bit with some of the film I've took. So I've already done it at this stage. The car's running perfect. The turbo is down there at the back of all this lot, so you need to access it from the top and the back. Don't be frightened of it. If you're anything like it do yourself with cars, you've got some good sockets and that, you should do it easy. If you start by taking the wipers off there and there, I've just pulled the waterproof cover off them. Note which side they go. Take the air filter bolts off. You needn't take it off, but it's probably better to take it. It's so easy to take off. The box, just pull that out of there, and then there's just that rubber band there. Unclip that rubber band and it just pulls out. That's when you've took this pipe off it. There's one screw there, can you see, and one down there. Torx bolts or spanner. Then when you've done it, you need to first of all take this electrical connection off. That's here. Just lift that up there and pull it out. Don't pull it with a cable. That's it. That's it. So don't forget, lift that red clip up there and pull it. Don't pull it with a cable. Here, this one here. Let's see if I can shine a light for you. That connector there needs to come out. Just squeeze each side of it, the thumb and finger, each side, and that little clip there. Don't pull it with the wires. And then pull these little clips off here and here, etc. up that end, and then this will come off, this plastic cover. Just pull it away from the windscreen, don't be frightened of it. And then underneath there's a metal one that's just held on with a few bolts. Just take that off. Right, that will give you better access. And then this pipe here comes off. Right there, Jubilee clips, that's all, don't be frightened of it. It might be black in your case, I renewed that at one time. Then round here, just take the air filter box off. That just, there's a little rubber clip there, can you see it? Rubber clip, yeah, and it just pulls off. But first of all, that screw there and one underneath, just to detach it from this. 2 pipes down there, that's Jubileed on, and you can get to them and pull them off, and then this piece of pipe, you can just flip it back. You should disconnect the battery first before you do anything like this. Underneath, obviously, you've got to take the covers off, which is just self-tapping screws. So just take the 2 big covers off, and then you've got to get the catalytic converter off, which is there. Look. Can you see that? That's the cap. It goes onto that manifold there. 3 bolts, which is quite easy to get to with a long extension. But first of all, take this bar off here. Can you see the bar? 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't be frightened of it. That can come out of the way. 2 bolts at the back of it. If you can see them, they're 2 bolts to the rest of the exhaust. Wire brush them and give them some penetrating oil, and then pull these rubber clips off here, and then move your cap back. You don't need to remove it completely, just move it back there, out of the way, back that way, out of the way. Right, so then that's basically the things that you need to do to get access. This clamp has got the exhaust. There's a bolt there, the bolt there, 2 bolts up there. That could just be moved out of the way. Just take it off completely. And then there's your catalytic converter. There, look. It's not as bad as what you think. 2 bolts there holding it on to the bracket. Then it fastens onto the exhaust manifold up there with a clamp, and this is the oil feed to it, which you can see better in my video later at the back of the air filter, and I'm explaining how to do it. It's not that big a job, don't be frightened of it. You can do it. You need the car off the ground. I've got a little pit, but you can get on ramps. Make sure you're safe. Very important that you check the oil feed to it, the pipe, with 2 banjo fittings on. I'm fitting a new one, just to be sure. It must be primed with a proper grade oil before you start it up, along with other things that I'll be telling you about. Right, this is the turbo, the old turbo. What happened, it was making a whooshing noise and was coming on too early. There's no mechanical bad sounds from it, but this is the old turbo. Now you've got 2 big hoses to get off here. They just Juba clipped on. It holds on with that bracket there. Can you see that? Bracket, them 2 bolts. This goes into the exhaust manifold. It's just a clamp that holds this together, similar to exhaust clamp. This is the catalytic converter. These 3 bolts that hold it on. There's an oil return pipe there. And the banjo fit in there for the oil feed. I've had to send for a new pipe for this oil feed, because I clumsily kinked it when trying to undo the bracket that held it on, but it's probably better replaced anyway. £77 from Ford's. £33 from the internet, genuine Ford. Right, taking the air filter off, and just to check that there's no contamination. This tube here looks a bit frightening to take off, but it's quite easy actually, and it gives you much more access from the top of the engine. It needs to come off to get to the bolts. So it's a fairly easy Jubilee clip, special clip that holds on with this wire, which is easy. Two bolts, and it's yours. Just holds on with these two brackets here. First job is to take the wipers off, and then take the wipers off, and then the plastic thing that just goes under there under the windscreen, and then the metal one, and then that gives you far better access here. If we look down here, these are two bolts that holds the bracket on, and there's where the turbo goes. Most of the work is from underneath, but it's not that bad. If you've got some decent tool sockets and extensions, it's not that bad a job. You do need to be off the ground, but I mean I've got a shallow pit, and I put on ramps as well, but I found that too high, so it's much better to just have it about that high, so it's quite easy to do with ramps. Right, these tubes here have got a little bit of oil residue in them, so I'll be cleaning them some solvent or something, because it's not good for the new turbo or the Recon turbo, whichever. My turbo has cost me £399 plus VAT, and the pipe £33, and obviously be putting oil change in. So that's the start of putting it back together. I get sure everything's clean. This special clamp is the one similar to exhaust that goes on, and the bolt was seized even though it looked good, and I had to cut it off. So I need a new bolt for that. I'm just going to use an ordinary bolt. Right, I'm underneath the car. I've got the turbo in place. There's two bolts there and there. This is the bracket that holds it on. I loosened that off. I didn't actually take it off. I just loosened it so it allowed some play. And when I got both bolts loosely in, I put the exhaust clamp on, which is up there. I'll show it you from the top. And it's more or less in place now. It's just putting everything on it. You know, there's the oil return pipe there, the banjo fitting which is up top to go on. I'm going to drain the oil in a bit, take the sump off, make sure there's no foreign bodies in the sump, although my turbo didn't break up, it was just oil leaks. So I've got those two pipes put on there, intake and the other one. This one goes to the catalytic converter. Quite a little bit of work to do yet, but holding it up and getting the first two bolts on was the hopeless part. But now I've got them on there. Yeah, looking at it from the top, you can see the clamp button there. This clamp, similar to get on exhaust. I broke the bolt, so I've put a new bolt on it. You can see my fingers there. And the oil supply pipe. Yeah, can you see it in there? You should be able to see in there, that red plug, just to stop muck getting in. I'm going to prime it there and then get the banjo tube on it and that'll be another bit done. But I'm not going to do that until I've got it all, everything else on it, except for the tube that goes on here that will stop me access to this. Yeah, make sure you use that top class oil. It must be really up to spec and a really good filter. Yeah, this is probably the most important part of the turbo, which is the main oil feed. It needs a new one. £77 at Ford's, £33 including postage online. Proper genuine Ford. What I've done here, I slackened the turbo off. It's just one bolt below. I took that clamp off of it, you can see. And I'm going to put some oil in there where the feed pipe goes. Also, I'm going to thread the pipe in properly. So when the turbo's bolted on, it's not worth risking kinking the pipe. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to put some oil in, and then I'm going to thread the pipe in. Yeah, this is the special clamp that holds the turbo to the exhaust. It's just like an ordinary exhaust clamp, probably better quality. I sheared the bolt tagging it off, there was no way it's going to come off. So I've just adapted this bolt, which seems to do the job fine. Just show you where it goes. Got the turbo on one bolt so it can pivot, and that's the actual place where the band goes, down there. As you can see with this tube removed, you can get access. When I put the feed pipe on, I took one bolt off so I could swing it away slightly so I could put the feed pipe on without kinking it. It runs from there down and on a clamp, and then just above the oil filter. So it's not as bad as it sounds. That's the best way. Put the turbo on, and then just put it on the front bowl so it'll pivot. You can even leave the big pipes on. You can even fit the big pipes to the front, and just swivel it enough so you've got access. Put this clamp that goes on there on the exhaust, you've got good access to it, so it's no big deal. Right, I'll put that on now. Right, that's the clamp on, as you can see. Nice design. I can now take these wedges out. I put these on so it would hold the turbo back. Right, there's two bolts. There's one there, one further back. They're the two that hold the turbo on. There is no bolts at the top like it suggests in Ames manual. There's just them two, and then the clamp holds the top. Where I've just showed you the clamp that the banjo clamp, the exhaust. So there's no other bolts holds that on, but except for these two. And there's the bracket for it. So don't worry about that. There's the oil feed, and there's the clamp for the oil feed to keep it off the exhaust. So now I'm going to put the other bolt in, put the oil return pipe in, which is up there, and then I'm more or less ready to go. Fit in the new oil filter. Don't forget to give the seal a bit of lubricant so it can twist. There's the other feed to the turbo, just above the oil filter. Yeah, I'm just checking everything. I've got the oil to put in yet. Everything this end looks fine. It's got the oil retain pipe on. Just goes under there. Get my torch for you. Oh. Yeah, that's the oil retain pipe there. Goes to there. You can see that. Simple little 10mm bolts. That's the bracket that holds the turbo on. 2 bolts there, 3 bolts on the bracket. That's the connection to the cat, 3 bolts. That's the oil filter, oil feed above it, goes at the back, up and right at the top, back of there is the other banjo bolt. So I think everything's in order. So now it's put the cat on and then rest at the top of the engine. Well, that's it now. This can go back to Midland Turbos. I'd love to. It's worth £100 to send it back, so I'd love to take it to bits just to see what was up with it, but they won't accept it if I did. Yep, fit this pipe back on. Just 2 jugglies here and here. This end is smaller than that, so when you put it back on, get it the right way around. Simple job. Don't forget to put your oil in, but keep checking the dipstick. It only wants to be halfway up in between low and high. Don't overfill it. That's a big danger. Remember, these engines, these modern engines, feel very slow. So don't put too much oil in it. Don't put too little in. Bit by bit, keep checking. Put cloth in, so if you spill any, you'll not think it's anything you've done. Yeah, I'm just letting it tick over for a bit to get the oil circulating around before I rev it up, just to see if the turbo's working correctly. Well, everything seems to be okay. I've been under it, can't see any leaks, oil leaks, water leaks, anything. So it should be alright. Well, I've done quite a few miles in it now and everything's fine. I left the bottom cover off just to make sure there were no oil leaks, water leaks, anything like that. I got away with it. I didn't use any new gaskets. The ones on the oil retain was like a copper base one that was clipped on, and there's no leaks whatsoever. So apart from that new oil feed pipe, the banjo fittings, which already had the copper washers on the seals, apart from that, the exhaust fit back on with no new seals. Obviously the one on the turbo is like the exhaust clamp and didn't need any. And on the back I thought I might need one with the 2 bolts, or where it fed onto the rest of the exhaust, but no, I cleaned it with wire brush, bolted it up, no leaks whatsoever. So I got away with that. And also the cooling tube, I didn't put any new gaskets with that, and there's no water leaks whatsoever. I'd just like to say at the end of this video that I've catered for all different levels of skills. Obviously people with a lot of mechanical experience will just find a lot of this stuff just basic, but you still might need to know where things are, so I do hope it helps. It's very awkward to film a Backet engine. I've done my best. It's with the new GoPro 5, and if you'd like to subscribe or ask any questions, I will be glad to try and answer them. Thank you very much for watching.